Join me and Robbie for Victory League Metaverse to watch Game for Ukraine.
Yo, listen up. This is going to be huge. The Game for Ukraine charity football match kicks off this Saturday, the 5th of August at 5:45 p.m. We're talking about a full-on game with big names from the world of football on the pitch. I'm going to be there, and other AFTV influencers are going to be joining in, and you can come and meet them all digitally. Let's make a difference together.
Click the link in the description right now and get involved. This is going to be big. Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Looking forward to the weekend now. First of all, on Saturday, you've got the big game for Ukraine. Alexander Zinchenko keeping that one to help raise funds to rebuild a school in Ukraine. And I'm going to be doing this really cool sort of watch along in the metaverse. You can watch the actual game for free in the metaverse, right? With me, and also it'll be joined by lead judges and Ty with our avatars. You're going to be able to come in. It's going to be so cool. Click the link in the description to register now and get involved in that. You do not want to miss it. That's tomorrow. And then on Sunday, of course, the big one, Arsenal in the Community Shield, taking on Manchester City. Going to be a real sort of test for Arsenal to see where we're at. Let's be real. These sort of friendlies this summer have been a bit, hit and miss for Arsenal. There's been a lot of experimentation, but I expect Arsenal to probably go with what will be more or less the team they're going to start the league with in that game against Man City. So it's going to be really good to see how far we've come. Definitely can't have them defensive mistakes against Man City. We'll get seriously punished. So looking forward to that one. Also, it was great to see Arsene Wenger at the Emirates yesterday. I was down there for the statue unveiling. How cool was that? My daughter literally went into the shop, bought a shirt, not thinking Arsene Wenger was going to be there. And we were then up by the statue. Arsene Wenger comes out for the unveiling and signs her shirt. That was absolutely brilliant. He's such a classy guy. And listen, despite how it ended for Arsene Wenger, we've got to remember the great times that he gave us as Arsenal fans. He really helped re-establish this club. So big up to Arsene Wenger. And if you want to see a bit more of that, make sure you check out the Invincible podcast. We captured a lot of it on that. We did a very special Invincible podcast from actually down there at the ground. Now, transfers. Who is going to be gracing the Arsenal shirt come the 1st of September? David Raya is seemingly getting very, very close to being an Arsenal player. Yesterday, Arsenal submitted a bid of £20 million plus £3 million in add-ons for Raya. They want their man now. David Raya has already said to Brentford, I want to join Arsenal. Now it's just up for this fee to get negotiated. We know that Brentford have been looking for a fee of around about £40 million, and they'll probably reject this one. But it's in motion now. It's moving now. And once the team's put the money in and the player's desperate for the move, it's going to happen. And Raya will become an Arsenal player. It's just a matter of time. So let's see how it all develops out, see what Brentford are going to come back with, how much money they're going to be looking for. As we know, they're looking for this big £40 million. They were never going to get that this summer. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. And when a player's got 1 year left on his contract, unless it's Messi or somebody like that, you're going to really, really struggle to get that sort of fee. So let's see how that one develops out over the next few days. But Arsenal now really pushing to get this Raya deal done. They would ideally like to have him in before the start of the season, which of course is next week. This was really interesting today to read this. Thomas Partey, who was brilliant the other night. In fact, he's been excellent all pre-season. He's looked sharp. He's looked comfortable. We know at the end of the season, he looked to have run out of steam a bit in the Arsenal midfield, after being excellent all season. I'd say about the last 10 games sort of fell away a bit. But he's seemingly back to his best right now. And, Mikel Arteta was asked about him. It's a press conference that I was actually in America when he was asked about it by a Ghanaian journalist. will Thomas Partey be staying at the club? Mikel Arteta says, yes, he's staying. We never had no intention to sell him. He's a big part of our plans. I want to play him with Declan Rice, which is what he did the other night. However, we're reading today from a source from Sky Sports Italy that Juventus has been in talks with Thomas Partey's representatives about a move. They are still interested in trying to get Thomas Partey over to Turin. However, a lot of their business is going to depend on who they sell. Juventus in a lot of financial trouble, in a lot of trouble in general. You know what I mean? They've had the whole dock points thing. They've had a big fine for breaching FFP. They're not in Europe next season. It's a bit of a disaster at the moment at Juventus, but they would still like to make some major signings, and Thomas Partey is one of them. One thing I would say about it, the source of this story is the same source that was saying that Declan Rice was definitely going to be joining Man City, and they got that one completely wrong. I'm not sure about this one. Thomas Partey, over the last few games, has looked pretty happy at Arsenal. Mikel Arteta looks like he does want him as a main part of his plans. I think the only way we'd see Thomas Partey leave Arsenal would have to be some sort of huge offer. And I just don't think Juve are going to be able to come up with that huge offer right now. But everybody's hoping that Thomas Partey stays because he looks like he's going to be a very important player for Arsenal this season, and the experience that he brings to that midfield. I mean, you don't want to dismantle that midfield completely. I mean, last year, you know what I mean, Thomas Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard was an excellent midfield. Yeah, you can make some tweaks to it, but you don't want to dismantle it completely. So I would be surprised if Partey left, but listen, you can never rule out anything, you know, especially with the Saudis around as well. There's also a report today from the Independent. They claim that Arsenal are still interested in signing Romeo Lavia and may attempt to hijack Liverpool's dealings in this whole thing. We know that Liverpool have made 3 bids now for Romeo Lavia to Southampton. Southampton holding out for £50 million. Liverpool not willing to pay that at the moment. Lavia, 19, coming on 20, great little player, really is an outstanding talent. But he's had one good season, 50 million. I mean, some of the prices, you know, that are being bandied around for some of the players at the moment, you know, you can see why Liverpool have been very sort of, you know, reluctant to pay this sort of money. They have, though, lost a couple of their midfielder players, and they do need a defensive midfielder, although they are looking at alternatives at the moment. And Arsenal here, the Independent claim, are looking at Lavia. Now, again, this may be only if Thomas Partey was to leave that they may do that. And also, we know that Arsenal still got quite a few players that they need to sell and move and get off their books before they can start spending big money on these type of players. And I know a lot of people out there will be saying, well, hold on a minute, we're trying to get a goalkeeper at the moment when we don't really need a goalkeeper. Well, listen, Lavia, 50 million is a lot of money. So I'm not sure about this one. Again, you never know. It depends on what happens with the Thomas Partey situation. One player who's definitely left is Austin Trusty. He left yesterday, and he's joined Sheffield United for an undisclosed fee. The fee we were being hearing about over the sort of recent days was something around the region of around about £5 million, but the fee has not been disclosed. But Austin Trusty is now a Sheffield United player. He was saying yesterday it's always been his dream to play in the Premier League. He's got a permanent Premier League move. All right, he would have loved to have played at Arsenal. I would have loved to have seen him given a chance at Arsenal, but what chance are you going to get with the amount of centre-backs that we've got right now? Remember, we've still got Rob Holding there as well, and his future's still yet to be decided. Timber's in there now. Ben White can play in that position, as well as, of course, Saliba. So really stacked in the centre-back position, and it would have been really limited game time for Trusty. So a good little move for him. And Albert Sambi Lokonga, according to Football Insider, is close to an agreement with Burnley on a season-long loan, where he'd be able to reunite with Vincent Kompany, who he played for when he was at Anderlecht. And, of course, Kompany once described him as the new Yaya Toure. Well, he might get that chance to sort of be back playing with him again. By the way, I love some of the comments yesterday that you guys were given to me. I remember I was asking about the striker situation. Should we go and get another striker? If so, who? Do we keep hold of Balogun? You know, I got some fantastic comments yesterday on Transfer Daily. Let me read a couple of them. This guy here, sorry, can't see his name right here, but he said, I would get Ivan Toney now. He'll be the most wanted player in the league come the winter. Everybody who needs the goals will want to get him. And that's very true. Of course, Ivan Toney on that ban at the moment for the breaches of betting regulations, but he will be available to play come January next year. And I think this guy's right. I think loads of clubs will be taking a look at him, despite the fact that he wouldn't have played for half a season. He's got an excellent goal scoring record. This guy here, Hard Rocks, he says, if Balogun was playing at any other club, then we would have spent 60 to 70 million pounds to buy him. But since he's playing for Arsenal, we're letting him go. Perfect example is Mikhailo Mudryk. We were willing to pay 80 to 90 million. Utter madness, he says. And that, again, is very true, you know. And here's another excellent comment, this one from, I think it's DeRoja. He says, most people didn't want Balogun in France. He scored 21 goals. Great. But from an XG of 26, which is poor, that shows he's not clinical. He scored a lot of penalties as well, and we've already seen in pre-season his lack of clinicality. So I understand why we want him sold. He did miss those two big chances against Nuremberg. But listen, he scored 21 goals. You can't just look on it and say a load of it is penalties. I hear what he's saying with the XG. There's a lot of people who are out there saying, well, hold on, well, let's see him then. Give him a chance. To me, I just look on it and say, Jesus is injured. If Jesus is injured and we don't get a huge offer, I mean huge offer in for Balogun, I don't think we should bill him. We keep him until January at least. Although there are alternatives to, you know, Jesus in the short term. We've got Trossard. Eddie's there, of course. You know, even got Martinelli who could play down the middle. That's something I wouldn't be against seeing as well. Maybe Martinelli down the middle and Trossard on the left. So, but certainly we scored a lot of goals last year from all different positions up front. So maybe we'll just do that again. Listen, thanks for watching the show today. Don't forget to check out all of our great content building up to that game, Community Shield, and also tomorrow, the game for Ukraine. Come and join us in the metaverse. It's going to be cool, free of charge, and you can watch that game free of charge as well right there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.